So Joe, I mean, when the modern cloud first started, we kind of looked at it as this separate thing. And now it's like become everything, whether it's technology, pricing, the business model, the IT model, the operating model, the agility. I mean, we want that everywhere. And now everybody talks about the edge, and we want that experience as well to the edge. So as you look to the future, how do you see it? What do you want from companies like NETSCOUT, VMware, AWS, and others? Where are you headed, and how can the technology industry better serve you?
Yes, thanks, Dave, because I was saving the zinger for this, maybe the last question here. We'll see where we end up. But Michael and the NETSCOUT team have heard this from me in the past and from others. So there is another need that enterprises have. And the technology that Tom and Anoop speak to certainly is advanced, right? It's further along than some of the enterprises can consume at the pace they want to consume. And I spoke to the value of the simplification that those companies are doing with those technologies. But Anoop spoke to something that's really important: packet acquisition, as close to the source as possible. That is very important to infrastructure organizations, security organizations, for a number of reasons. So corporations, enterprises do have to translate what are those functionalities and capabilities they have today on-prem, some of which may be archaic, but they're still important to running the business. And are they available in the new environment? So I think that's a really important thing. The gap that I see currently in the industry is as follows, right? There are so many capabilities and products in the market that attempts to deliver for the enterprise the complete mapping of their environment. You all know them, you know many of them. They sit in some of your organizations. But my experience, and most enterprises' experience with that today, is if an enterprise really has to migrate 1,500 application environments into an Amazon environment or name another, and they're going to choose one of the 5 R's or 6, depending on how you look at things, how do they do that? And I think that's the gap, right? Most of these discovery vehicles that I've seen and others have seen, they can plug into your existing environment. They can answer many things, application to infrastructure dependencies and application to application dependencies, but they always end up with this gap. And the expectation that the industry has is that you, the customer, are then going to sit with your application and your business people that need to be moving at the speed of light to answer those questions to close the gap. That is a hurdle. I think that's an obstacle for these corporations and for cloud adoption. I'm sure Anoop could probably speak to it, Tom can probably speak to it, but that's something that I think all of these vendor manufacturers and providers and hyperscaler providers, they have to figure out how can they continue to help an enterprise close that gap. I hope that makes sense.